Welcome everybody to Technology Today, episode number 39. I'm your host David Herzog, and today I got some stories from the world of technology. So, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get started. Well, hello everybody, what's going on? It's David Herzog talking at you here once again. November, wow, we're getting closer and closer to the end of 2021. I know a lot of us will be glad it's over, and hopefully, there's more people that are vaccinated, and, everybody is continuing to work on moving on to the next big thing in their lives. I know I am. And well, with that being said, if you are curious and you'd like to listen to this podcast, Spreaker.com in the technology section of the webpage is where you can listen to it first. Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. You can also watch this on my YouTube channel, Technology Today, and on my Twitter page as well too. Now, lots of football going on, all the teams and stuff. We're finally getting into the end of the football season here. We're getting ready to get into the rounds and and all the teams that are going to be get ready to be in the playoffs. So hopefully your team is one of the teams that are getting close to being in the playoffs. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get to the first story here. So here we go. Alright, Microsoft 360 outage blocks access to OneDrive SharePoint files. A Microsoft 365 outage prevented access to files such as Excel, documents stored on the SharePoint Online, OneDrive, Office, and Microsoft Teams cloud storage services. On the day this event occurred, the outage started at approximately 11:40 Eastern Standard Time, with admins and users reporting on social media that they could not open files stored on OneDrive or SharePoint. Most of the reports were about Excel users not being able to open files stored on OneDrive and SharePoint. Soon after this event occurred, Microsoft issued a Microsoft 365 service alert titled "Users Can't Access Files in Microsoft 365 Services." Impacted services included, but were not limited to, SharePoint, Online, OneDrive for Business, Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft 365 apps, explained the alert. A later update on the day this event occurred explained that only new Excel sessions were affected by this outage and older sessions were unaffected. At a later time on the day this event occurred, at approximately 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Microsoft said that the outage had been resolved and was caused by a code change for a different problem. Microsoft further explained that they had identified a recently deployed code change that was intended to address a separate issue resulted in the impact. And finally, Microsoft finally announced on the day this event occurred that they had reverted the offending change and monitored the service to confirm that the updated change to the code they applied had resolved the problem and informed its users that they may need to refresh their web browser or restart their app to see the resolution to the problem. So, just goes to show you, if you're using Office 365 and you are using SharePoint and OneDrive, to put whatever files you decide to put on SharePoint and OneDrive in your Microsoft 365 subscription, it's a good idea, to also at that time that you're uploading your files to SharePoint and OneDrive to make copies locally on your computer of the same file. So just in case something goes awry with OneDrive or SharePoint, as did in this story, you have local copies of the same files that you had on OneDrive or SharePoint, and you can get access to those. Always pays to have a plan B. All right. Well, and we're going to go ahead and get on to the second story here. And I know a lot of people have probably seen this, but if you haven't, Facebook, social media, deletes 1 billion face prints in face recognition shutdown. Facebook announced that they will no longer use the face recognition system on their platform and will be deleting over 1 billion people's facial recognition profiles. Facebook's recognition system analyzes photos taken of tagged users and associate users' profiles to build a unique identifier or template. This template is then used to identify users in uploaded photos or automatically tag people in memories. Now, a week after their rebranding as Meta, Facebook has announced that they are doing away with the face recognition feature and deleting all profile templates created by the system. But the many specific instances where facial recognition can be helpful need to be weighed against growing concerns about the use of this technology as a whole, said Jerome Pizzenti, Vice President of Artificial Intelligence, in a published announcement. There are many concerns about the place of facial recognition technology in society, and regulators are still in the process of providing a clear set of rules governing its use. Amid this ongoing uncertainty, Facebook believes that limiting the use of facial recognition to a narrow set of use cases is appropriate. Some of these concerns have been significant for Facebook, which recently made a $650 million settlement in a lawsuit with Illinois, claiming Facebook collected and stored the biometric data of Facebook users without consent. And why doesn't that surprise me? And while this change will be seen as a victory for privacy advocates, it will come with some trade-offs, as more than a third of Facebook's daily users have opted into and used the face recognition feature. Wow. I didn't know that. Only a third of people who use Facebook social media have opted in to use the face recognition feature of that social media platform. Well, as I say, to each his own. Do what you're gonna do, with your life, and don't let anybody get in your way. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get on to the final story here. Trojan source attack method can hide bugs into open source code. Academic researchers have released details about a new attack method they call Trojan source that allows injecting vulnerabilities into the source code of a software project in a way that human reviewers can't detect. Trojan source relies on a simple trick that does not require modifying the compiler to create vulnerable binaries. The method was some of the most widely used programming languages today, and adversaries could use it for supply chain attacks. Researchers from the University of Cambridge, United Kingdom, disclosed and demonstrated the Trojan source class of attacks that could compromise first-party software and supply chains. As if we don't have enough problems with supply chains right now at this time. The examples they provide are for projects written in C, C++, C#, JavaScript, Java, Rust, Go, and Python, where an attacker can target the encoding of source code files to inject vulnerabilities. The trick is to use Unicode control characters to reorder tokens in source code at the encoding level, explains Nicolas Boucher, one of the researchers that discovered Trojan source. Ross Anderson, another researcher associated with testing the Trojan source attack method, explained that he and his colleagues have discovered ways of manipulating the code of source code files so that human viewers and compilers see different logic. By using control characters embedded in comments and strings, a threat actor can reorder the source code to change its logic in a way that creates an exploitable vulnerability. So isn't that interesting? All you got to do is take some code in any of the languages, JavaScript or Python, and change it, and you can wreak some havoc. The researchers tested the Trojan source attack against multiple code editors and web-based repositories that are commonly used in programming and found that their method worked on many of them. At the moment, multiple compilers are unable to stop the Trojan source attack method, despite almost 24 software suppliers being aware of the threat. Wow. So, just goes to show you got to be forever vigilant and careful in what you do online, what you click on, where you go to, what emails you open, what files you choose to download, because, just because you have antivirus and malware protection doesn't mean you're not going to get ransomware or a virus installed on your computer. No more than just because you have an automobile doesn't mean that you're not going to get into an accident. Things happen. All the time. All right. Well, let's see. Well, we're about 15 minutes into everything. I really did not have a technology tip of the day for this podcast here. And, but, since last October was Cybersecurity Month, it is important, I do want to emphasize, to keep yourself safe when you're online. Watch what you're doing. Don't click on links that you don't know where they came from. If it's an email you don't know where it came from, delete it. Delete it out of your deleted items folder in Outlook. And just don't click on it. Because it's important to stay safe. It's important to stay safe when you're online. Okay, well. Hey, this is going to be rather a short one, for November here. Hopefully everybody's getting ready to have Thanksgiving as the first holiday coming up here this month. And everybody knows what next month is. Day after Thanksgiving is Black Friday. Everybody's gonna be shopping, and Cyber Monday. Everybody's gonna be ordering stuff, online from Amazon, and wherever else you order the items that you choose to purchase for the holiday season for yourself and your family online. And Thanksgiving followed by Christmas and New Year's. So I believe that's going to conclude the podcast for the day. And if you want to find out any more information about me, if you're curious, you want to find out more information about me, you can find me on the University of Cincinnati's homepage at homepages.uc.edu/the Herzog DL, or you can listen to this podcast on Spreaker.com in the technology section of the webpage, and on Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. You can also watch this on my YouTube channel, Technology Today. You can also watch it on my Twitter page as well too. And I'd like to thank everyone for listening and watching today. And I'll be talking at you soon. Goodbye. Until next time.